You might be asking yourself, where have all the white women gone? Well, I'll tell you, they're in my chamber of secrets, drinking coffee brand coffee that they got using my code RUIN for 10% off. And if you want to be one of my luxurious white women, or white men, sitting in my chamber drinking all this glorious coffee, you can. All you gotta do is go to coffeebrandcoffee.com, use my code RUIN for 10% off, and enjoy yourself and all the white women that exist peacefully. But for now, ongoing stupidity.
Let's talk about the sleep gap. Did you know that Black Americans do not sleep as well as white Americans do? The Center for Disease Control and Prevention conducted and published research in 2020 on sleep in the US. The results showed that 43.5% of Black or African Americans had trouble sleeping, compared with 30.7% of white respondents. Black and Latinx people in the US spend 15% of their night in deep sleep, which is the most restorative and regenerative phase of sleep, compared to 20% of white Americans. Poor sleep is a public health problem. Whether it's because of historical stress, maltreatment, or health inequities, Black Americans do not sleep enough. And poor sleep is a feedback loop, and the effects of poor sleep mean you're more likely to get bad sleep again. This sleep gap is worsened for people that are low income, disabled, or undocumented. Looking back to the enslavement of Black people in the US, fatigue has been used as a measure of control against Black people. This is why several campaigners and academics are pitching sleep as an act of resistance for the Black community. To rest, even to take naps, is an act of self-care, is an act of resistance. So this Black History Month, to any Black person watching this video, remember to rest.
This is why many people look at a lot of people who try to make everything something about black versus white, or persons of color versus the whites, or something racist with a little bit of a side eye, because you are not resisting, you're not fighting back, you're not fighting against something by getting good night's sleep. It's good that you're getting that rest. It's good that you're going home and you're not wasting all this time doing anything, and you're getting that sleep necessary so that you could be a productive human being in society. But it will not ever have anything to do with you resisting the outside world and how white it is. And I know it's not Black History Month, but to get you prepared for the stupidity you're going to hear in Black History Month, we decided to jump it just a little bit early. Because why do we think good night's sleep will lead to resisting against the evil whites? I have no idea, because it don't make no fucking sense. And it's weird how I can't really understand if I'm seeing this as a joke or not, because I live in a world where too many people are really fixated on having a hot take that is so profound it is downright stupid. So I'm just gonna chalk it up to the woods and say, hey, maybe she's joking, or she's maybe serious. And even if she's joking, I've told y'all, stupid people find jokes very serious, and they will do whatever they can to make that weird looking joke be something based in reality. It's been documented, it's been shown to you. I'm gonna show it to you one more time.
I know that every person of color has been on the receiving end of this, so my video is actually more for white people. Actually, this is a serious question, and I would like a serious answer in my comment section, or a stitch. Are y'all aware that y'all often take up space with disregard for the people of color around you? If there's any confusion, I can give you guys an example. I'm from New York City. Sometimes a sidewalk is narrow to the point where there's only enough room for two modes of traffic, one going and one coming. But that has never stopped white people from walking side by side and holding hands, and expecting you to either stand and wait for them to pass, or walk in the street if you need to keep going. Are you guys aware that this is something that you do, or is it something that happens by accident? Because people of color are taught to be aware of how much space they're taking up at all times. So watching you guys take up space without even thinking about it is mind-blowing to a lot of us. All of you. The question was, are you aware that you take up space with disregard to the POC around you? The walking in NYC was simply an example. Y'all are so caught up on the example. That was not the question. White women are actually one of the worst freaking culprits, and y'all are up and down in the comments swearing that it's white men. Y'all disregard the fuck out of us in public spaces, and y'all disregard our personal space on countless occasions. As a black woman, the most encounters that I've had with white people disregarding my space have been with white women, not white. And y'all are in the comments in droves, deflecting, swearing that it's white men. Y'all are just as bad as white men. Y'all swear that somehow y'all are different because y'all are women. But when it comes to white supremacy, y'all are the same.
Go Modern Warrior made a video talking about how he was going to try and fight systemic racism by not getting out of the way of white people on the sidewalk. Good for him. Love that idea. The same thing applies to women. So how are you fighting the patriarchy? How are you fighting the misogynistic society that we live in? And how are you practicing intersectional feminism? Taking Lance's idea, I decided to try that because I have always noticed that I will get out of the way of men as they're walking towards me on the sidewalk to let them go around. So I was in Seattle last weekend. I made an effort not to do that, and I was doing really great. But at one point I was holding my daughter's hand. She's 3 years old, and these two white boys, they were like in their 20s, were coming towards us. And it was quite clear that they were just gonna run right into us until my daughter and I literally had to get in the road to get out of their way.
And guess what? If you have such a problem going to sleep and trying to get a good night's sleep, try anything to help you. Warm milk, a little bit of masturbation, a little bit of ASMR, some ocean sounds, something. Go to sleep, get some rest. And I hope it leads to you being a productive human being and not this delusional think piece about how you're resisting the evil white neighbor you have named Earl. Subscribe to the channel. I will see you all in the next one. I am going to go get me some good morning sleep.